Welcome back to Get to the Point with Miranda Burke. In today's episode, we will be discussing data integration and how SNP drives SAP data integration success. With us today is our Senior Solution Architect Leader in North America, Ben.Deaver. And as you know, if Ben veers off topic, my job is to steer his focus back to this one topic and get straight to the point. Let's dive right in. Ben, tell us about the state of SAP data integration.
Hey, thanks, Miranda. The state of SAP data integration is actually pretty simple. SAP is a key data source. If you look at the numbers, about 98% of the top 100 most valued brands in the world are running SAP. If you look globally, about 77% of the world's transactional revenue touches an SAP system at some point or another. And yet, when you talk to the research leaders, their best estimates are that about 80% of SAP data integration projects fail. It's an amazingly high number.
Why the high failure rate?
No, it's a great question. Fundamentally, it comes down to the SAP has always been architected as a bit of a walled garden when it comes to data. SAP is really good at making data available inside of its ecosystem, but integrating externally has always been a bit of a challenge. So you talk about external integration challenges, indirect access, license challenges, and then you take a step back and realize, okay, so external integration of massive sets of data, well, what about system performance, stability, load times? How do we accomplish delta loads for data that historically has not been delta available or delta capable? Then, looking further and saying, okay, how do I connect to more modern or innovative cloud platforms? How do I connect my SAP data to the spaces where my next generation analytics data engineers and the AI ML experts are existing right now? And then you get to then once you've solved all of those other upstream problems, you've still got the issue where you have these super long lead times of preparing SAP data for those innovative use cases. Fundamentally, the SAP data ecosystem, it's very familiar to people who've been working in SAP for 20 years. But you start talking to data engineers who are working with data that's coming from across the enterprise, the SAP data model can be very tough to ingest and integrate with other solutions due to the lack of metadata that's normally made available.
So how can SNP solutions help?
That's a great question. So SNP is uniquely poised to be able to help with many of these use cases. First and foremost, we bring connectivity to a tremendous number of enterprise storage options, both on-prem as well as cloud connectivity platforms. So if you're trying to integrate your SAP data with the best of breed cloud solutions, whether it be for data or Delta Lake, data warehousing, AI, ML, predictive, prescriptive, descriptive analytics engines, we bring that connectivity to the table for you out of the box. We have highly flexible deployment architectures that can be brought to light. And one of the big pieces with that is that we're going to, instead of pulling data from your SAP system, we're going to integrate directly with your SAP investment. We're an SAP NetWeaver certified and S4 certified solution. What that means is that we're going to install on your NetWeaver stack and we're going to push the data. That's going to allow us to be able to control the amount of resources that are actually being utilized, and we're going to help you protect your SAP investment from runaway integration. We're going to piggyback on your existing security model. We're going to utilize the existing connectivity and connection infrastructure you've already got in place. Your SAP and basis and security teams are going to look at this and say, oh, this folds nicely into what we already do. Then we're going to bring to the table the ability to have a really diverse Delta capability. We're going to allow you to Delta enable data that historically has not been Delta capable. And then finally, we're going to bring that enterprise agility to bear, meaning that we're going to bring all the metadata across. So in a nutshell, we're going to give you access to 100% of the data that exists on your SAP system, all of it, no restrictions. We're going to do it through the NetWeaver stack. We're going to bring all of the metadata across for you that you need, and we're going to make sure that you can Delta enable those things that need to be Delta enabled. in order to make sure that you're getting the data as you need it in the way that you most desperately do.
So you mentioned data. What data can SNP Glue integrate, and can you elaborate further on the restrictions?
No, of course. So when we're talking about what data can SAP or SNP Glue integrate, really it's a very simple answer. Any data that's accessible via the NetWeaver stack is going to be capable of being integrated. So let's get into some specifics. Let's give some examples here. Obviously, tables, custom ABAP extractors, we have views. So not just your traditional NetWeaver views, but also your HANA calculation and CDS views, anything that's exposed through that NetWeaver stack. Your BW extractor layer. A lot of companies have invested thousands of hours in their BW extractor layer, and you don't want to throw that work away. There's a lot of good logic in there. Well, SNP Glue can hook into the ODP layer and be able to take advantage of that extractor layer. We also, as other examples from other NetWeaver stack capable technologies, we can hook directly into BW info providers. So your DSOs, ADSOs, InfoCubes, BEX queries, whatever. So when I tell you that we can hit any data that's in your NetWeaver stack, I truly do mean any data. So you take a step back further from that and realize we also have a catch-all. It's kind of our ABAP-based extraction, where in the event that there's either a function module or complex hierarchies that need to be flattened out for integration into a more modern cloud data warehouse, well, you can also be able to write your own ABAP and full transformation layer to be able to accomplish those tasks as well.
So how does our support for data integration activities relate to right data, right place, right time?
That's a great question. Thanks, Miranda. So when we're talking about right data, right place, right time, SNP Glue is a key component of that mantra. When we're talking about right data, it means accurate data. We are making your business critical SAP data available to anybody in the enterprise. We are democratizing your enterprise data. We are finding this data that is hugely important for the organization, that has historically been very difficult to integrate, or very large data sets that are very challenging to integrate because of the load it puts on systems or the load times, or the fact that you just can't integrate it out with a whole bunch of different technologies. We're going to help you democratize that right data in order to be able to get it in front of the people who are making decisions based upon it. Your right place means getting your data to where you want it. Maybe it's a next generation cloud data warehouse. Maybe it's going to be whatever the new AI ML platform is that's rolling out from one of the major cloud providers. Maybe it's a database cluster that's sitting on-prem. SNP Glue will help you integrate with with many different enterprise storage technologies very quickly, very efficiently, and in the most effective way possible. Right time means integrating the data very quickly, refreshing it quickly with leading CDC capabilities, and allowing for ongoing Delta integration. We're making the best decisions on the most current data within your enterprise is going to be critical. The right timing of the data is important because you cannot make near real-time business strategic decisions without having near real-time data integration.
So who should reach out to SNP for help with SAP data integration?
I mean, it's a great question. And the short answer here is we talk to virtually everybody. Remember, we're talking about democratizing data across the enterprise. Now, I cannot think of a single customer I've worked with where they have not had challenges integrating their SAP data out somewhere. So you think about who needs SAP data? Well, we're going to talk to SAP leaders. We're going to talk to business intelligence or analytics leaders. We're going to talk to business leaders who need SAP data and the ability to merge it in with other non-SAP data sources in a non-SAP platform in order to make the right decisions possible. So really, when we talk about who should be reaching out to SNP, the answer there is pretty much anybody.
Great. Ben, thank you so much for your time today. This has been Get to the Point with Miranda Burke. If you'd like to continue this discussion further, please fill out the form at the bottom of this page and we will be in touch. Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miranda.